Executive Committee, finalize the plans. Once we are done, the President will then begin to look at where he should make changes. And that also is necessitated by the fact that other comrades may leave. The Secretary General has to be full-time at the Tuli House, so at some point he has to leave. So the President will then at that point begin to look at what to do next. But we thought we shouldn't rush to make changes before we finalize our plan. So I suppose that you should watch the space after the Lekgotla.
Okay, sorry. Let's try and structure our questions. We are going to take just one last round of questions, and then from there we release the DP. And I'm going to appeal that, if possible, focus more on the statement, if possible. Okay,
possible, Chief? Okay. It's my turn, guys. DP, we appreciate, DP, the briefing where you're telling us about where to from here.
Yes.
But it has never happened in the history of the ANC where after the President had immediately spoken, another official is speaking. Has this been sanctioned by the Secretariat, or what's happening?
We have agreed that because of a lot of work, we should give ourselves tasks. So I was given a task to speak to you first, and then there will be another official who will speak to you, either the SG or the national chair. Then the President is going to have a longer sessions with yourselves around the speech. But we thought that we shouldn't just all rush out of the stadium and not talk to you. Yeah.
Mr. Mashatile Lizaga here from the Mail and Guardian. The President did mention that those who are implicated in the State Capture Commission's report will have to answer. You have said before that you've got 200 members who are implicated, and they should, go to the Integrity Commission commission. Have they gone to the Integrity Commission? When can you give us time frames as to when exactly those 200 will be going to the Integrity Commission?
Lizaga, it's not possible to give the time frame now, but we have appointed a committee that is looking at those issues. So they are going to brief the NEC when it meets, and then once we get the briefing, we'll probably come up with the time frames. But in general, it is agreed that our comrades who are affected should respond accordingly, those who are implicated, yes.
All right, Mr. Mashatile Mulukumoloto here from ENCA. The General Secretary of the SACP keeps repeating this importance of a reconfigured alliance. How exactly is it supposed to look like? Because it seems as if it's elusive, because they always talk of it. How is it going to look like ideally?
We've actually agreed to have a summit of the alliance. I think it might be in February, where we'll be discussing these matters. Basically, the SACP has been saying we need a much more cohesive approach in terms of how the alliance works, some form of joint decision makings on some issues. They have prepared a paper in that regard. So in the summit that we'll have, we will then all agree what is the proper way. At the moment, we have a political council that brings the office bearers of the alliance. Then we have the secretariat. Then you have a bigger meeting of the alliance. So it's really to look at how do we strengthen the work of the alliance to ensure that there is no complaint. Because sometimes you get complaints that maybe the ANC takes decisions alone and come to brief the alliance later. So we want to close that gap to make sure that we move together. So the summit will be looking into that. And secondly, the summit will also discuss our approach to economic reconstruction.
No, thanks. Okay, I take it that this is now the last question.
It's Norman Masungwini from City Press.
Yes.
When you look at the year in and year out, January 8th, the President always talks about service delivery, always mentions the issue of problems, water, potholes. As the newly elected NEC, have you looked back and look back at what has been the deliverables, and how do you
benchmark that and looking at the failures and the success? Where are you up to so far, and what are you going to do better going forward?
We have definitely done that. We have actually even looked at the previous January 8 statements. As you know, the NEC was meeting. We have realized that in some of the areas there are serious challenges. The President did speak about some of the areas where he was. I was recently in the Northwest. We've seen the challenges. So when the NEC meets now, it's going to look at how best can we move faster, probably put measurable targets. The President has also said where people are not performing, we should not keep them in those positions. So there's going to be a very serious performance assessment going forward to ensure that where there are glaring weaknesses that are caused by deployees who can't perform, we act and bring people who can perform. So yes, we are aware of the challenges. So the NEC, when it meets next week, and the Lekgotla will be dealing with those issues.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
DP has clarified your question.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the East Wing, Mr. Mashatile, at the Union Buildings?
We'll talk later.
That was Mr. Mashatile, who is the Deputy President of the African National Congress, speaking on a variety of issues, particularly pertaining to the January 8 statement of the President of the ANC and of the National Executive Committee, saying that discussions are afoot for a huge cabinet reshuffle and assessment of those who are not performing at a national, provincial and at a local level flow.
For us in Mangaung in the Free State, there was a press briefing there by Deputy President of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, alongside